ahead of the November 6th vote on the new international bridge crossing. Canada already saying it's a done deal. I'm Kathryn Larson with their side of the story coming up. Meredith is all about heating up the fashion industry, and this is not your mother's kitchen. She's actually taking the vinyls, melting them for about 4 minutes. When they come out, they're fashion. Trained nurses, they're not makeup artists. They are actually going in and handcrafting these wounds. Miss Holly says you do want to mark the moment. You do want to make it special. So go ahead and take a picture and post it to Facebook. But don't do too much on that first day. Normally it takes Jimmy 4 to 5 days to create a perfect hit. But Upton Girl, well, it was created between just 4 and 5 hours.
Say hello. Stay in touch.
It's a final goodbye before the voyage into the devastation begins.
They will be driving straight through.
Traveling 1,000 miles in a night, more than 40 trailers are trucking in the essentials that Belfor CEO Sheldon Yellen says include gallons of gas.
Some cars in front of them have literally run out of gas while waiting. And these tankers can't get in and fill these stations. Then when they do get gas into them, there's no power, there's no generation there to allow the gas to be pumped.
Yellen is in the disaster cleanup business, but even he says this is one of the worst incidents his company has ever tackled.
It is. The geographic area involved, you go from South New Jersey all the way up to North Jersey, New York City itself, which is incredibly difficult to maneuver around, and then you go on up into Canada. Our Canadian offices have been affected by this storm. We've received over 400 assignments in our Canadian office. 1,700
service crew members with Belfor are already stationed in Hurricane Sandy's wake, but that number could go up to 3,000 and double from there as the cleanup efforts continue.
There is no doubt there's a long couple weeks ahead.
Meantime, Yellen says Belfor is prepared for anything, including the upcoming nor'easter.
In one of these vehicles that are lined up here, I understand they have 300 winter jackets, Belfor winter jackets, gloves, hats, and boots. Yeah, we have to prepare our people for the nor'easter that's headed that way and make sure that our people are protected and can perform their duties.
Yellen says it won't be uncommon for his crew to put in 20-hour days pumping out the water and clearing the debris.
Be safe. This is what we do, and this is what we're called upon to do, and it's an honor to be able to serve.
Kathryn Larson, First Forecast Mornings. As the trucks barrel across the Ambassador Bridge, big plans are in the works for another span across the Detroit River.
If there was no money to be had, the existing proponents on the Ambassador Bridge wouldn't be fighting so hard. They wouldn't be fighting so hard to keep their monopoly.
In his office, Windsor's youngest mayor, Eddie Francis, says the only hang-up with the new international crossing is this upcoming Michigan election. But he's not too worried about voters making what he says is the right decision.
I think there's a lot of confidence that people will be able to separate fact from fiction. And when people are able to do that from that perspective, that they'll come to the conclusion that the right thing is to support a project that gets a shovel in the ground, that gets the economy and jobs created right away, that stimulates the economy.
The city of Windsor says already the new international bridge crossing is a success story, and that's because projects that are funneling into it, like the Windsor-Essex Parkway, our version of 696, have created jobs. So far, 15% unemployment rate has dipped to 9% in the last year, and they say those numbers will continue to fall as that bridge becomes closer to a reality.
So those are 12,000 jobs that are already at work. Those are 12,000 jobs that for the past year have been generating economic stimulus.
And as for Michigan jobs, Francis says there will be thousands more created on our side of the border.
At the end of the day, I haven't heard an argument yet that basically says that we should not do this because we don't need the jobs. I think everybody agrees we need the jobs. I've not heard an argument that says we shouldn't do this because we don't need this economic safety net of good infrastructure for the medium and long term. Nobody said that because everybody understands and recognizes that it's important.
As for payment for the bridge, Mayor Francis says it's payback time.
When the Blue Water Bridge was built, Port Huron, the U.S. government, the state of Michigan, advanced Canada the funds. So this is our way of saying, you know, you've done it for us, now we're doing it for you. Canadians didn't get taxed, Americans don't get taxed.
Kathryn Larson, First Forecast Mornings.
I think we'll find some large crowds here on Black Friday.
Scott Light isn't your average mall walker. He's walking around the Somerset Collection on a mission.
Take a few minutes to visit the stores and really understand what the individual retailer is trying to project.
As vice president of Troy-based Churchill Systems, Light looks at consumer demand and forecasts how national stores will fare this holiday season. And Light says this season, there's a rise of a new customer, the omni-channel shopper. That's one who won't be using just the brick and mortar stores.
The consumers that use the web to do their shopping, they will spend 70% more dollars this year.
Light says to expect this trend to continue, but sometimes heading to the store is a better deal.
I think more importantly than the best price that you'll find is you'll find more convenience in one place or the other. Sometimes you won't be able to find an item that's in the store, but you can find it online. Other times you won't be able to get an item shipped in time for Christmas or in the time period that you need it, but you can go pick it up at the store.
Well, most stores here at Somerset Collection are already decked out for the holidays. Some stores are not, like Nordstrom's that says they're just focusing on one holiday at a time. Light says that gamble may not pay off.
It'll be interesting to see. There is certainly a niche of consumers that just wants to see the holiday season begin at a certain time and end at a certain time, and there certainly has been some creep of that timing over the past few years to become closer and closer to the Halloween season than the Thanksgiving season.
And Light says shops are pulling out all the stops and hopes you'll walk in.
Everyone seems to be confident that we are going to have a relatively successful season.
Kathryn Larson, First Forecast Mornings. What's the story behind the red doors of the Detroit Fire Department? One documentary is looking into that, and you can see it this weekend.
I wish my head could forget what my eyes have seen.
Between the blaze and the blight are the true heroes.
Firefighters don't talk. They don't, they're not on the couch with Oprah.
But in Burn, filmmakers Brenna Sanchez and Tom Putnam went behind the headlines to give these Detroit firefighters a voice. On average, 30 fires break out in the city of Detroit each day. The documentary creators say you'll see those flames and the fury as it unfolds.
It's an action movie. It's shot in widescreen. It's got great music. We're up in helicopters. We're going into fires with these guys. It's the kind of movie that firefighters would go see even if it wasn't a documentary.
And with the financial backing of FX's Rescue Me star Dennis Leary and the public, the film has spread like wildfire.
The entire movie's been funded with charitable donations. It's possibly the largest film ever to be made that way.
This film certainly didn't come together in a day or a week. It took the filmmakers 4 years. And in that time, they took 1,000 hours of video, 140 hard drives were filled.
Nobody'd ever made a firefighting documentary before. Detroit's probably the one place you could do it because they're busy enough that you actually can go to fires with the guys, and nobody'd sent cameras into fires before. Nobody'd spent this much time in a firehouse before, so I think the movie has a lot of firsts.
Meantime, the new flick promises to smolder.
It's just a miracle that more guys aren't hurt or killed on this job.
Adrenaline pumps and your heart breaks, and you see what these guys go through in that last shot of the movie. Just like you just want to stand up and just cheer for them.
Kathryn Larson, First Forecast Mornings. Take me out to the dog groomers. At Cuts and Kisses, pampered pets are getting ready for the World Series. With what else but temporary tattoos?
The tigers across their back in navy blue or orange. It's non-toxic, made for dogs, completely safe. It's airbrushed and it comes out with a bath.
Cuts and Kisses co-owner Renee McGee got the idea back in the spring at a dog convention expo in Chicago. She says airbrushing is the latest trend in the dog spoiling world.
It's fun things for the dogs. The airbrushing, we do sports teams, we do holidays, you can do your dog's name, a lot of fun things.
Small dogs, big dogs, they're all showing their team spirit, including Mr. D, my dog, who's sporting the English D.
With the Detroit D, it's a little intricate, the pattern in the middle, and so the parts of the stencil are kind of small and not real firm, I guess would be the word, when the dog moves around. It takes two of us to kind of hold the dog and calm him down while we do it, but we get it done.
So what else is popular right now?
Oh, the Halloween is huge right now. We have pumpkins and black cats and boo and yeah, the Halloween's been really big. Detroit Tigers and the Halloween are the big sellers right now.
McGee says she's done about a dozen Tigers tattoos in the last few days and charges $15 for the service, $10 if your pooch gets a grooming. And McGee says it's a perfect way to show your love of the home team.
Yeah, and everybody's doing the Detroit Tigers, showing their loyalty and wearing the gear, and you can do it with your dog too.
Kathryn Larson, First Forecast Mornings.